Hello, everybody, and welcome to Kansas Speedway. I'm going to be your host tonight, Nathaniel Campbell, the boy up in the booth, here for the Grand National Tour Dawn 150. We'll have 100 laps tonight, and we'll go ahead and go through the grid as these guys are getting ready to start their formation lap. So, starting out on the pole tonight, we'll have Thomas Villano, our points leader, starting next to Trey Fraley on his outside. Robert Fraley is going to be third with Jim Mott to his outside. You're going to see Cory Mott in fifth with Ryan Taft in sixth to his outside. Row 4 is going to be Jeremy Tebon, Bob Baker. And then rounding out the field tonight, you'll see Austin Runkle and Nate Cadet in the 32. So only 10 cars tonight, which is going to allow for drivers to gain some points on the season here. So we'll see what they're able to do. We'll go ahead and look at the points real quick. It does not want me to look at the points, so I guess we will not look at the points real quick. But pace car has his lights off, so that means we're getting ready to go green. Thomas Villano, our point leader, followed by Trey Fraley on his outside. Looking ready to go green flag racing here at Kansas tonight. 100 laps. We'll probably have a caution at lap 50 for that competition caution, and a tire change at that same part of the race as well. We're green flag racing. It's going to be Thomas Villano and Trey Fraley leading us to green. Coming across the line now to complete that first lap, Thomas Villano going to pull ahead 3/10 in front of the Fraley bros in the 17 and the 6, running currently second and third. So good jump for that number one. Going to see him taking an early lead. We saw someone getting a little loose out of the corner. I believe that was the 6 of Robert Fraley, who's now fallen back to this battle between himself, Cory Mott, Ryan Taft, and Jim Mott. You also see Jeremy Tebon creeping into the picture there. Taft looking down low to make it 3 wide as they go across the line. Still 3 wide. You see 92 Tebon going to the wall, and Taft's going to get clear out of 2. He's going to put himself into third in that number 30 Pennzoil machine. So 4 laps now started here at Kansas. Thomas Villano looking to go back-to-back after his win at Mid-Ohio. Almost said Las Vegas. Saw Cory Mott get tagged up there. Kind of made me jumble up the words as I was going through that sentence. But yes, Thomas Villano trying to go back-to-back. We saw him win last time that the Grand National Tour was out and driving at Mid-Ohio. I just realized that the Nextel Cup logo is up on the screen. We'll go ahead and fix that real quick. That's a quick fix. And then I'm also going to try to get the standings fixed up real quick for you guys. But yeah, Thomas Villano now slowly starting to take advantage of the Missile Racing drivers not being able to be qualified for this race due to being over the 2K I rating limit. So a little bit of trouble in paradise for Missile Racing, who seem to be the dominant team, just missing a few races here and there, and now most likely going to miss a lot of the rest of the season due to just restrictions. So that team might have to be looking at different options, possibly going up to Nextel Cup or even entering into the Truck Series. So we'll see what happens with Missile Racing at the end of this season, and see what happens after their very strong opening season run here in the Grand National Tour. Back out front, that Toyota Camry of Thomas Villano working about a 1 second gap at the moment, just over 1 second, we'll say. Almost 1.2 seconds now, 1.2 as they cross the line to start lap 8. Missile Racing up in the chat, however. Hayden Higginbotham up in the chat. Villano leads another lap across the line as he's starting to pull that gap from the rest of the field. Ryan Taft kind of settled himself into third now. He's got Nate Cadet on his bumper, however, trying to take that spot from him. See the drivers using that higher line. Seems to be the quicker line around this track once those tires kind of get wear down. You see Taft really ripping the wall there. Taft trying to hold his position in front of Cadet at the moment. See Cory Mott just behind them into the wall out of turn 2. He's going to lose a spot back to that number 6 car who we saw get a little bit wadded up earlier in the wall as well. So Robert Fraley moving 1 spot back up. Cadet so far our biggest mover. He is up 6 spots, looking to go 7 now as he's starting to close in here on that 30 car. Going on board now with that 32 of Cadet. As you see, they're actually both starting to catch up to Fraley now for a second. So he's starting to fall back from Villano, who's really starting to gap the field. 2.2 seconds now is that gap as they start lap 12. Taft now going to be challenging for second as they go through 1 and 2. Not going to be that much dirty air tonight with only 10 cars out on the track. It's going to allow for these speeds to stay up even when the tire wear is going on. See Taft now through 3 and 4 making that move down low. Still on board with Cadet here. Coming out of 4, Taft going to be able to stay side by side with Fraley. Cadet getting a little bit loose on that transition over the apron there. You're going to see Taft send a slide job up through 1 and 2 and block off that 17's run. 17's going to have to lift off out of the corner. And Ryan Taft going to go through for second as we go on board with Trey Fraley. He's going to slightly put the car on the wall there through 3 and 4. That's not going to be good, as Cadet is right there in the reach of this 17 car. 14 laps now started here at Kansas, 13 completed. See Cadet making a dive on the outside here. Going on board now with Cadet once again here, using that outside line. You see the difference in lanes you can kind of use. Fraley deciding to send a little bit of a slide job there, even though he's already in front. Just trying to take the air off the front end of that 32 car, and it seemed to have worked so far. But Cadet gaining on the front stretch once again, going to be able to peek his nose down to the inside. And we might be seeing that 32 go by for third. He is, but look at this. Cory Mott coming through now in that 73 car. He's going to take third for both of them. And he's going to say bye-bye. So Cory Mott now moves up into that podium position after getting into the wall just a few laps ago. Up to third goes that number 73, coming off his first win in the Cup Series this season last week. Been having a great year so far. In all splits of MCRL Motorsports, finally got that first win in the Cup Series. Now looking to keep that momentum going for top tier is Cory Mott, who's currently running third. Sounds like Trey Fraley was in the wall entering turn 3. He was. He's going to have to give up 2 spots to Cadet and the other Fraley. So that 17 moving backwards now here on lap 17. And Cadet starting to fall back himself just a little bit as well after moving up 6 spots to start the race. Gonna have to settle into 5th for a little bit here. And he's actually going to go into the wall himself as well out of 2, and that's going to open the door for Fraley to get back by on the inside. And there goes Jim Mott as well. So all that work Cadet has done is going to be washed basically through 3 corners there, as Villano's going to come out of the corner, lead another lap here now, lap 18. Side-by-side battle between Fraley and Jim Mott. These guys looking like they're just kind of settling in right now, even though they are battling just a tiny bit. It's just due to drivers' mistakes kind of happening around the track and them getting that track position and a door being open to go side by side. But they cleared it up pretty quick. And someone was in the wall. Someone's actually in the grass. Cory Mott's in second. Now, as Ryan Taft has hit the wall, it looks like. And we'll try to see what happened here with that number 30 car as they come in on turn 4. Just real tight up on the wall. Makes contact with the wall, puts it down in the grass. Nothing else hit with that 30 car, so you should be okay. Might just have a little bit of steering problems. But if he can hold on for the next about 30 laps, he should be okay here. Doesn't seem too bad, and he's able to hold on to third and not lose any more positions in that number 30 car for Taft. So going to be looking for a caution, or either just holding on to that car or trying to stay on the lead lap, hopefully now for Ryan Taft. Unsure of how much damage is going to be on that right side, as that was pretty decent contact we saw earlier in the year at Texas in the Nextel series with these cars. Alan Phillips going to the wall, as well as Jay Salmon right in front of him. Both of them kind of followed the wall on the exit of the corner of 4 through the dog leg. That track is shaped a little bit harsher on the car whenever you go into that wall, however. But just wondering if that damage is going to play a factor here. There is a fast repair in the ARCA series, so that could help him out here once we get that caution that will come out here on lap 50 midway through the race. But for now, 3 seconds behind the leader, as Cory Mott's starting to reel in Thomas Villano now here on lap 22. Gap is now below 1 second between that 1 and 73. We've seen them battling now here in the ARCA series every so often, whenever Cory decides to come down here and play around in the ARCA series. He's riding that high line right now, making a lot of time. 8 tenths is now the gap between those two as they start lap 23. Gonna go ahead and give it a nice little crank it up here for the Don 150. Round 10 of the Ground National Tour. Let's go ahead and crank it up. Now coming out to crank it up. We're going to have side-by-side action for the lead between Cory Mott. Thomas Villano, a little bit of contact as they come out turn 4. Cory Mott going to now go to the lead in that number 73 machine here on lap 27. Mott been running the fastest laps on the track so far throughout the run. Jeremy Tebon close behind him. Only 2 cars in the 34-second lap range those last few laps. As Mott now showing that he's able to save his tires just a little bit better and now starting to fly away from Thomas Villano here. Their entry speed was about 10 miles an hour of a difference between Mott and Villano. Unsure if that's just different racing lines or if the tires on Mott's car are really that much better. A little bit more even through 3 and 4 that time between both of them. So it's going to stay between about half a tenth or a half a second here. Cadet on pit road in that 32 car as they're coming up on lap traffic, it seems like. I believe that is Austin Runkle right in front of them that they are catching up to right now in the number 29. Saw Ryan Taft get a little bit loose earlier in the crank it up portion of the race, and just getting a little bit loose again there out of turn 2. 8 tenths now is the gap between Mott and Villano for the lead. That's going to open up as Villano made a little bit of a mistake on the entrance to 1. As Mott's going to gain about a tenth through that corner. So Cory now catching up to Austin Runkle here. Going to put 1 car a lap down on the track as Nate Cadet has put his car down pit road. And I believe his day might be done. Cory Mott starting to slow down a little bit as Thomas Villano ran a little bit faster than him that last time. Robert Fraley and Jeremy Tebon also just a tad bit faster than the leaders. So all of their speeds are pretty close here. It's just going to be kind of a game of who can last to lap 50 when this caution comes out. Gonna go by Austin Runkle here as Cory Mott here on lap 32 through 1 and 2. That's gonna put him a little bit in a buffer zone between himself and Villano, maybe create a little bit more of a gap. Always want to put cars between yourself and second place when you are the leader. And that gap is starting to open up just a little bit more as that air might be disrupting Villano from that 29 car. 1.4 seconds now is that gap. Now 1.5 seconds through 1 is what's going to be when they come out of that corner. Villano going to have to make his move now, and he is out of the exit of 2. Going to be able to get by that number 29 machine with ease on the inside. Runkle looking like he's just kind of taking it a little bit easy, maybe trying to learn how the ARCA car drives out here. Definitely off pace compared to the rest of the field. But still out there doing his thing, learning as much as he can. As now Villano's going to separate himself from Runkle. So far, 35 laps green. haven't really looked back since. And it's been a good race, as Cory Mott has taken over now and put almost 3 seconds to Thomas Villano. 2.9 is going to be the gap here in a moment. There it goes. And now it's going to be 3 seconds there as they're coming out of turn 3 and 4. And Mott is just gaining fast, 3/10 through the front stretch there. And he's just setting sail on that 73 car. That thing is definitely locked in and driving pretty well. 3.7, 3.8, 3.9 all through the exit. Now going to go up to 4 seconds to start the lap. Only bad thing, however, now with this big of a lead is he's going to have to forfeit that lead when the caution does come out. 4.5 now through the corner. He's really been able to save his tires compared to the rest of the field. You could just tell starting to really pull that gap on everyone else. And there's honestly not that many close battles other than this one right here between Fraley and Tebon, battle for 4th. That 6 car trying to get back into the top 4 after sliding back early on. Been a little bit of a recovery race so far from that 6 after that early mistake getting into the wall on the exit of turn 4, I believe it was. Or maybe it was going into 3. I don't remember specifically, but I do know that he was in the wall at one point and lost a few positions. So starting to fall back just a little bit now. 6/10 separates the two. As they have now caught Austin Runkle, who will get a wave around here as long as Bob Baker doesn't go a lap down. Or if Trey Fraley doesn't go a lap down. But it looks like Trey Fraley had a little bit of trouble. And he's got damage on that front end of the 17. Unsure of what happened there to him. There's no report of any damage to that car, any crash or anything. But here is now starting lap 40. Cory Mott has caught up to Bob Baker here pretty much. 2 top tier cars. Is he going to put that car a lap down and run that risk of Runkle passing Bob here in these next 11 laps? We'll have to see. Baker definitely off the pace of Mott, and it's looking like Mott's just going to go by with ease and not even think about the team play here of keeping Baker on the lead lap and not having to run that risk of the wave around. But he said, screw it, we're just going to pass him. So on board now with that 1 car once again, or that 73 car, sorry. Used to saying 1 just because of his cup ride. But 73 here in ARCA, now 8.5 seconds out front of Thomas Villano. Fraley has used his fast repair back out on the track now in that 17, 2 laps down. Not what he wanted to see in that 17 car after having a great starting position. So Bob Baker now in the battle between himself and Austin Runkle for that wave around here once that caution comes out. Cory Mott, however, 7.5 seconds out in front of Ryan Taft, who has taken second from Thomas Villano. We can see what happened here. Looks like Villano just getting a little bit tight out of 2. That's going to allow Ryan Taft to go by on the inside. So a good move for the number 30 team, and now Ryan Taft finds himself second place on that podium in that number 30 Pontiac machine. But Cory Mott been the tail of the night so far, 8 seconds out front, looking like Max Verstappen in that 73 here tonight on an oval. Really has the class of the field in that top tier machine. Might need to be post-race inspected. As he starts lap 44. About 6-7 laps now until that competition caution. It should be at the end of lap 50 here. And then these guys will be able to change their tires if they so please, and I believe all of them will, as times have really started to fall off from the beginning of this race. Times were about 33 seconds, 32 seconds at the start, and now running about 36, 35. 35 being the fastest, with Cory Mott running a 35.14 that last time by. A little bit of a close battle here between Fraley and Tebon, picking back up once again. Thomas Villano now has fallen back to 5th as well. Something definitely wrong with that one car. Maybe push the tires off that thing just a little bit too much early on, and kind of reaping the reward of pushing a little too hard. And it's not really a reward, it's more of a penalty. And he's fallen back to 5th here. Now 18.5 seconds back from the leader. He could be under threat of going a lap down here with 5 laps left before this competition yellow comes out. So 2 cars battling for that lap down. Free pass between Baker and Runkle. It's about 20 seconds between the two, so I believe Baker will get that wave around, as Runkle just doesn't really have the speed. And Mott might actually lap Runkle once again here, as you see him coming back into the picture. And he is going to be able to lap him once again, so he's going to go 2 laps down here for this competition caution, and kind of putting an end to his race unless people wreck out without their fast repairs. So Cory Mott getting up to the back end now of Austin Runkle, who's actually going to go into the wall out of 2. That's not good for that 29. But 3 laps left in this stage, we'll call it, as Tebon is now trying to get around Bob Baker here, who is looking primed to get that one free pass. See Thomas Villano still on the edge of going a lap down. Should be okay, however. And Jim Mott actually really close to going a lap down here, as you see the difference between himself and Cory, as they're just about half a straightaway away from each other. It's going to be interesting here if Cory's going to lap Papa Mott. So 1 more lap left before this yellow comes out. To end the first half of this race, Cory Mott putting on a dominant show here at the second half of this first half of the race, we'll call it. A lot of halves going on, but if you know racing, it somewhat makes sense. The second half of the first half of the race, you know, that makes sense. But Cory Mott coming out of turn 4 to complete lap 50. And we're going to see a caution come out for the competition yellow. We'll see 6 cars on the lead lap. When the yellow comes out, we'll see 7 on the lead lap once the green comes back out. And Austin Runkle might have called it a night as he drug his car down pit road before that yellow came out. But Cory Mott going to be in front here as the yellow comes out. And we're going to go ahead and take a little bit of a break and then come back and we'll interview that 73 before we go green flag racing. And now with everyone off pit road, Ryan Taft going to be winning that race off pit road. Cory taking a little bit more time, possibly making adjustments or just maybe messing around with other things in the car and conceding in that first place position here on that restart. But we'll go ahead and talk to him and see what that top tier driver is thinking. Top tier owner actually is thinking. Let's go ahead and talk to Cory Mott. Hey there, Cory. It's the boy up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. We've seen you kind of take control here of the second half of that, first half of the race, we'll call it, before the competition caution comes out. We saw you run down Thomas Villano after it seemed like he was starting to pull away from the rest of the field. So how's that 73 car feeling out there on the track right now?
Well, considering we're the only car that did not blow our right front tire that run, I would consider that a win. I cleared 9 meatballs at the end of that stage.
Oh boy.
So,
well,
needless to say,
that's a little telling.
Needless to say, there might be a little tire gate going on. General Tire might be getting a strongly worded message from the Grand National Touring Series here.
But yeah, looking on to the second half of this race here, starting second on the outside of Taft now. What are you looking forward to doing? Obviously a win, but what else about this race are you looking forward to here?
Yes, track temp's 136 degrees, so minimizing tire slide is going to be optimal to survive this here. Honestly, if they want to race and burn it up, I'm gonna let them do it. I'm gonna just sit back, relax, and take care of business here. Take care of my car.
All right, well we'll let you get back to it, and good luck throughout the rest of this race tonight.
Thank you.
That is Cory Mott in the number 73 machine, starting second here, outside on row 1. We're getting ready to go green flag racing. Austin Runkle has rejoined the field. He will be 3 laps down. But it's going to be Ryan Taft on the inside, Cory Mott to the outside. Green flag is back out here at Kansas. And we're back and going for the Dawn 150 to complete the second half of this race. Ryan Taft jumps out to an early lead. And we'll let the cars talk here for a second. Seeing battles all around the track. A few cars up in the wall. That's Jim Mott being one of them. And they'll get it all sorted out. Thomas Villano settling in at third. Gonna have to try to work on getting back out front after leading a good portion of this race. And late on into that first run. Probably that first car, honestly, to pop his tire, and that's why he fell back so fast. So a very interesting story coming out of the General Tire camp here in the Grand National Tour. We might have a little bit of tire gate, as Cory said himself, as tire problems might come into play here at the end of this race. We'll see, as Taft has pulled out to about a 1-second lead over Cory Mott. I don't believe Mott's really too worried right now, however, as he said he was the only one that didn't blow his right front off. So he should be just chilling right now, as he said. Just wanted to kind of hang around and just kind of take it to the end. Jeremy Tebon getting around the 6 for position. That's 4th. As Austin Runkle's right there in the picture as well. He is 3 laps down, however. So just kind of getting out there for more knowledge and experience with these Grand National Tour cars, as they are definitely a lot different from the Nextel Cup cars, and a lot less power to them. Still a fun challenge, however. Just a little bit easier, I would say, than the Nextel Cup cars that we run. But having a little bit of problems is Runkle there through 1 and 2. This track is an interesting track with this car. You do kind of want to stay as fast as possible through these corners, through these straights, and that requires a lot of gas input, and it's kind of hard to stay on the gas with these cars as they don't really want to turn, even though they're designed for turning. They just want to go fast. Still watching along here with Jeremy Tebon. He's actually starting to close in now on Thomas Villano. Gaps about 7/10 of a second now, 6/10, and closing between those two. So a battle for 3rd might be coming pretty soon here between the 92 and the 1. Still about 6/10 as they enter 1 and 2 here, now 5/10 through the middle of the corner. And that gap between the leaders now 7.5 tenths. So that gap is closing down 3/4 of a second. Not too much distance between those two now, as it's now 6/10 and still closing for Cory, as he's looking to keep momentum down at top tier. Ryan Taft, however, looking to get his first win of the year in the Grand National Tour. Sorry about that. We're going to try to pull up the point standings real quick once again. Should be able to do it now. There we go. So we'll pull it up real quick. These are the point standings coming into tonight. So Thomas Villano holding about 13 points over Jim Mott. Hayden Higginbotham not going to be able to race for the time being, I believe, as well as Ryan Persinger, who are 3rd and 5th right now in points. See Robert Fraley tied with Persinger. It's going to be a good night for him, as long as he stays in 5th here, and might be able to get past Tebon as well, as we've seen them battling all night. But Thomas Villano, the big story of the night, looking to extend that points lead over the 4 guys that are behind him that are not here tonight, including Joe Gibbons. Other than Jim Mott, everyone else is here, but Jim Mott's not really having the best night. He's in 6th. So as long as Villano is able to stay up in that podium area, he's looking at a good points night for sure. It's now 5.5 seconds between, or not 5.5 seconds, 5.5 tenths between Cory Mott and Ryan Taft here on lap 66. Gap kind of fluctuating up and down as Cory's kind of just playing around with his tires and just seeing what's working a little bit better here in the later stages of this race. Thomas Villano starting to get a little bit of pressure now from Jeremy Tebon here. So they start at lap 67 of 100. 150 miles tonight, pretty normal race length for the Grand National Tour. The next race will be actually going short tracking at Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway. So that's going to be a change of pace here in the Grand National Tour. It's definitely been a little bit of time since we've been to a short track, I believe, here in the ARCA series. I believe the last time we went was USA. Even, actually, I would say North Wilkesboro, to be honest. You could call Iowa a short track, but I would say it's a little too fast to be a short track. I don't even know what you would call it, to be honest. But I would say the last true short track we were at was North Wilkesboro, which was round 4. And then that was won by Gordon Fraley, who might be looking to make a run there if he's underneath the I-rating cap. As now that gap's starting to close back down to 0.5 of a second, half a second now for Cory. Just kind of playing with his food right now. He knows he has the better car. He's just letting Taft think he might have a better car. We'll see though. Taft has definitely been pretty quick tonight. Got up to second after Villano kind of made that mistake of, I guess, just blowing his tire. That's kind of what just happened. Is Tebon now going to go side by side with Villano. We'll go ahead and watch this real quick, as we're going to have 30 laps to go the next time they come by the start-finish line. So out of 2, Jeremy Tebon clears Thomas Villano for 3rd. And now Villano's going to have to worry just a tiny bit about that gap closing between himself and Jim. If Villano loses that spot to Fraley, then it's not really going to be that many points gained for him, but he is going to have that advantage of leading a lap. But now you see that gap visibly very small now, 0.3 of a second between Ryan Taft and Cory Mott. On board now with that number 73 car. And you see Cory just able to wrap the corner a lot better out of 3 and 4. And he's getting a big run down to 0.1 of a second between the 2 cars now. Nose to tail. P1, P2 going after it here at Kansas through 1 and 2. Mott to the high line, Taft to the low line. Crossover now from Cory Mott on the Exeter corner. They're going to go side by side. Just off to the right, Ryan Taft side by side through the corner. So this time Taft on the high line, Mott to the low line, still side by side as they come out of turn 4, almost contact from those 2 cars. Lap 73 now here at Kansas. And you got a battle between Ryan Taft and Cory Mott for the lead. And if either of these guys make a mistake and it ends up affecting the other one, look out for Jeremy Tebon or Thomas Villano to come back into the picture here. Only 3.3 seconds back. It's not that much if you think about it. But Cory Mott going to be able to clear Taft for the moment as they exit 4 here on 73, now 74. With 26 laps to go the next time they come by. Taft going to get a run through the inside on 1 and 2 once again. Cory going to be sticking to that outside lane as he has nowhere else to go for the moment. And Taft going to try to power his way back through on the inside, and he's going to be able to for the moment. Going to get clear for a second, but on the exit of 4, Mott's going to get a great run and get back to his outside. So a good battle for the lead right now as you see that battle for 3rd picking back up in the background. Taft's going to clear Mott, but Mott's looking for that crossover once again back to the inside on the exit of 2, and he's going to be able to clear Taft as they go into 3 and 4. Taft going to send another shot through the inside here. Not going to be able to do anything. And he's going to wash back up the track out of 4 and allow for Cory Mott to get fully clear. 25 to go now here at Kansas. And Cory Mott's back out front. And that number 73 kind of played a little bit of cat and mouse. But putting himself back out front in that 73 car. Jeremy Tebon trying to fend off Thomas Villano now for third. Taft back to the high line through 3 and 4. Gonna lose about 2/10 on the exit, and not gonna be the corner that he needed to try to get back to Cory there. You see Cory now working that bottom line once again. Taft kind of in the middle. Not as high as he was earlier in the race, but definitely still up the track. And that's kind of where you get your speed here at Kansas, just searching grooves up the track. And you keep your momentum on the exit of the corner, and it's just all around good. The only thing is tires definitely get worn. Some Jeremy Tebon supporters down in the chat. Still trying to hold off Thomas Villano. Villano's starting to pull in that gap just a tiny bit more now. 23 to go for Tebon to get a podium here. Tebon has had a podium already this year. That was last at Michigan. So we'll be able to tie his best finish if he's able to stay in third. But even then, if he does get past the top 5, still a great run for that number 92 machine, as he's looking to put himself higher up in the points as well. Missed a few races here and there, and that's kind of set him back just a tiny bit compared to everyone else here in the Grand National Tour. Still battling for that position. As you see, Ryan Taft is actually going to go down pit road. Unsure of what happened with Ryan Taft there, as he had to dive down pit road. So that's going to give this race probably to Cory Mott, and now open the door for Tebon to get a P2, but that's going to be hard to do with Thomas Villano all over his bumper. He had that line to the inside, but Tebon able to close off the door and not allow Villano to go through on the inside that time. But now it's about 4.5 seconds, just over 4.5 seconds, between Cory Mott and Jeremy Tebon, and Thomas Villano as well. So the race most likely going to be in Cory Mott's favor now with 20 to go, unless something catastrophic happens. 19 to go now as they cross the line. So we'll stay ahead and stay glued to this battle between Jeremy Tebon and Thomas Villano. You also see Robert Fraley Jr. in the background there in that number 6 car, still on his work back. Side by side through 1 and 2. Villano trying to use that bottom line once again. It's really hard, honestly, to make a pass on the bottom without the momentum advantage. But if you power it down enough, you should be able to get it done. But Villano not able to get the power down just enough, and that's going to allow for Tebon to stay side by side with Villano. And now clear as they go through the front stretch here. Into the wall goes Tebon, into the entry of 1, and that's going to clear the 1 of Villano. And now open the door for Fraley to be in this battle for third. And allow for Robert Fraley to go through for a podium. And that's what happens with one corner. It could change everything. As now Villano moves to second, and Tebon's on the cusp of getting knocked off this podium tonight. 17 to go now here at Kansas. And there goes Fraley into the wall in the entry of 1. Made the same mistake that Tebon made. And that's going to open up just a tiny bit more of a gap between the 92 and the 6. Give a little bit of a breath to Tebon there with 17 to go. Going to have to recompose himself and try to hold on to this third place finish, as Thomas Villano is now about a second in front of Tebon, as he's getting a little tight out of 4. Gonna have to go all the way down the track to regain control of the car. Now here comes Fraley to the inside. Side by side on the exit of turn 2 between Tebon and Fraley. 16 laps to go here at Kansas. Cory Mott has set sail on the rest of the field. 4.7 seconds separates himself and Thomas Villano. 6.5 seconds back to the battle that we're watching, with now 15 to go. Tebon able to hold on to third for the moment, but I don't think Fraley's done just yet. I believe Fraley wants to get that podium. But for the moment, Tebon able to hold on, and he's starting to pull away just a little bit more from Fraley. Maybe that damage on the right side of the car starting to play into effect here now, as Fraley definitely seems to take a little bit of a harder hit going into one than Tebon did. So I wonder if that's going to have any factor here with these last 14 laps, coming to 13 to go now. So Ryan Taft still on pit road, unsure of what happened there. He had a guaranteed podium finish here tonight. And ended up having to bring his car down pit road. And now going to be finishing 9th, just in front of Nate Cadet, who is the only car currently marked as out of the race. Taft might be out of the race, as I don't believe he's going to go back out onto the track with 12 to go. Still looking on to the closest battle on the track between Tebon and Fraley. Is that 92 still trying to run away? And with 12 laps to go, he might be able to do it if he's able to keep this pace that he's at right now. 11 to go now as they cross the line. And just want to gain as much points as possible as that 92's goal. Currently sitting 9th in standings tonight. Would be a big jump for him if he's able to get his third place on the year. As a lot of the guys in front of him are either not racing tonight or having just about worse race than him, as you see Runkle going to the wall just in front of them as they go by now through 3 and 4. 10 laps to go now as Mott crosses the line. 5 seconds is the gap now to himself and Villano. So starting to pull that gap back out. We saw Villano close it down to about 4.7 and now back up to 5.1 with 10 to go for Cory Mott. He's got that thing locked up as long as this stays green and as long as nothing catastrophic happens to that 73. Definitely going to be looking with another victory here in the Grand National Tour. I believe it'll be his 2nd of the year. Actually, he hasn't won in the Grand National Tour. I thought he did win a race, but I guess not. Finished 2nd twice. And a 3rd place at Mid-Ohio. So looking for his first win in the Grand National Tour is Cory Mott. And he's got 8 laps to do it now as he crosses the line once again on lap 93. Tebon now securing that 3rd place position, just trying to keep that gap as much as possible. You see Bob Baker just in front of him, having to lock up his tires as he was getting loose on the exit of 2. And that could have been a moment there, as that happened right in front of Tebon. But Baker able to collect the car. And now a 7 to go. Tebon just looking forward, trying to not focus on Fraley in his mirror. Might have to look here and there to see a little bit of information on what lines he's running. Going on board now with Tebon through exit of 2. Just hearing him having to be a little bit gentle with the throttle. And definitely being very coy getting back to it. And now Fraley putting up a little bit of a fight once again with 6 laps to go. He's starting to close that gap back down. 4/10 is that gap now between Tebon and Fraley. So this Ford and this Chevy going to be going at it here for the next 6 laps. We'll see who's able to come out on top. Thomas Villano not going to be able to do anything. He's 5 1/4 back from Cory Mott. And he would have to have a monumental run in that one car these last 5 laps. But nothing going to be there for him. He's going to have to settle with the 2nd place here tonight. And just ride with his points lead and hope that Jim Mott in his 5th place doesn't close down that gap at all. It shouldn't, as Mott has not led a lap. And Villano has. And Villano's going to be getting a nice 2nd place, so he'll be rewarded with that points lead. Not going to be able to finish where he started, however, on the pole is where that number 1 car started tonight, with 4 laps to go now for Cory Mott. That pressure is backed off once again between Fraley and Tebon. So now 4 to go. Tebon's just got to settle that 92 car down on board with Cory Mott as he's going to turns 3 and 4 on the exit of 4 now through the front stretch, coming to 3 laps to go. That 73 is looking high and mighty. Riding a lot of the momentum from the Cup Series race last week at Iowa. And now looking to come into Kansas and take another one is Cory Mott in that top tier machine. And that top tier team looking very good this year, putting down multiple wins. And I believe this will be Mott's 3rd win on the year between all series. And he's doing it with style tonight. Over 6.5 seconds now between himself and Thomas Villano, with 2 laps to go now. He's got nothing in front of him, nothing behind him. He could just honestly coast this car around this track for this last lap and be just fine. And not have to worry about anything in that 73 car. 7 seconds now is that gap. Stunting on the rest of the field is Cory Mott. He's going to take the white flag. We're going to only have 1 caution here tonight. It's going to be a quick race. Just under, I believe, an hour, honestly, of race time. Maybe just over an hour, actually. But Cory Mott out of turn 2, now onto the backstretch. Going to take home his 1st win here in the ARCA Series at Kansas in the Dawn 150. It's going to be a great race for that number 73 car. And he's going to be bringing it home P1 tonight. Cory Mott wins the Dawn 150 at Kansas. Coming home 2nd, going to be Thomas Villano. Going to put that 1 car onto the podium as well. And now Jeremy Tebon going to be coming across the line 3rd with Robert Fraley right there. So Fraley's going to be 4th. Jim Mott going to come home 5th. And then we saw Bob Baker already cross the line 1 lap down, so he'll be 6th. And the last guy to cross the line that is on track is going to be Trey Fraley in that number 17. And he'll come home 7th after starting 2nd. So Cory Mott going to get us burned down here at Kansas. Going to give us a nice little twister in Tornado Alley, as he's going to do his nice little drive around the track. We saw him do this at Iowa, I believe, where he does a little bit of a extra lap to get that car turned around. And doing a little bit of a victory lap like Alan Kulwicki did back in the day. And he's going to get full throttled by Trey Fraley. Oh no. We're going to have to check on Cory Mott in the infield care center. Oh no. But we'll go ahead and go through the final results here tonight at Kansas for the Dawn 150. Cory Mott coming home with the victory. Thomas Villano, P2. Jeremy Tebon, P3. That's going to be tying his best finish on the year. Robert Fraley going to be 4th. Jim Mott, 5th. Bob Baker, 6th. Trey Fraley going to be 7th. And then the guys that did not finish this race tonight, Austin Runkle in 8th. Ryan Taft, 9th. And Nate Cadet in 10th. So that is our finishing results here for the night. We'll go ahead and start our interviews here in a moment. We got to make sure everyone's ready to get those interviews going, as Cory is the only one in the chat at the moment. So I don't believe everyone is ready. But yeah, Thomas Villano obviously looking to have a good season here in the Grand National Tour and most likely extending his points lead on the rest of the field, especially Jim Mott, who finished 5th tonight. So still a good finish for Jim, but with Thomas finishing 2nd and getting a few wins these last few weeks, that's not going to really give Jim that opportunity unless Jim's finishing on the podium or winning races. So Jim's definitely going to have to be looking to get a good few finishes out of these next few races. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that point battle up on the top, as it seems to be an ever-shifting spot up there on the top, as we saw Higginbotham Persinger kind of dominate early on, but after missing a few races and now not going to be able to race, at least for the moment, that's going to kind of leave that top spot open for the time being. So we do have Jeremy Tebon in the chat now. We'll be able to start off our interviews. We'll see if Thomas Villano goes ahead and hops into that chat as well, and we'll interview him after. It looks like he has just hopped in, so we'll be able to get all 3 of our podium finishers tonight. And we'll go ahead and start off with Jeremy Tebon, the man from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Let's see what he has to say after tonight's event here at Kansas. Hey there, Jeremy. It's the boy up in the booth. You got a copy?
Oh, yeah.
All right. We see you come home P3 tonight and tying your best finish on the year here in the Grand National Tour here at Kansas. How are you feeling after this very caution-free race?
Tired. I was getting pretty bored there towards the end of it was like lap 85. I was like, all right, this is just pushing. I'm like, okay, let's get a late caution, spice things up a little bit, but that didn't happen. Then tire wear was starting to fall off. I was expecting my black flag to come out at any time, but stayed with it and finished it out.
Yeah, we saw you kind of have a little bit of pressure there from Robert Fraley in the 6 car just behind you. Did you think that he might have gotten to you there at any point in that last few stages of that race, those last few maybe I guess 30 laps when
I was just more doing that for my entertainment to keep me busy.
Yeah, but yeah, obviously definitely a fast car for you tonight in the 92 car, and just looking to kind of recover on points, sitting 9th coming into Kansas, and a 3rd place finish tonight obviously going to help you and go through the rest of the year. Are you looking to keep this momentum going next week into Kern?
Kern, never raced it. I don't think I own the track, so that should be interesting.
It will be. It's definitely a very interesting short track. So these ARCA cars out there and this field will be very interesting out there. But I believe you're a pretty good short track racer, so I honestly not too worried about you.
It'll be interesting. I'm excited for it.
All right, but before I let you go, you got anyone else out there to thank tonight? We saw a little bit of support for you in the chat tonight.
Oh, do we? I don't have the stream up, but I'm guessing my parents are probably watching. Some aunts and uncles are probably watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting. Thank Ryan, my teammate, for being out there with me and talking about it a little bit. But other than that, thanks for Cory for putting it on. Thank you for streaming. And yeah.
Of course. Well, congratulations on your P3 tonight. We'll go ahead and let you go, and you can go celebrate and get locked back in for this upcoming week of racing.
All right, thank you.
That is Jeremy Tebon, tonight's third place finisher. We're going to go ahead and talk to Thomas Villano here in a second. I'm going to fix my audio. Okay, there we go. We should be good now. But yeah, I just wanted to fix that so they could actually hear me on time. But let's go ahead and talk to our second place finisher. And Thomas Villano, I might have just broken iRacing doing that. But we'll go ahead and talk to our second place finisher, Thomas Villano, here tonight. Hey there, Thomas Villano, it's the boy up in the booth. You got a copy? Oh.
Yes, sir, I got you.
I got you. All right, perfect. We see you come home P2 tonight. And obviously starting on the pole tonight, not where you kind of wanted to finish, but P2 definitely a good finish still, and holding on to the points lead. That's probably the most important thing. How are you feeling after coming home second tonight?
As it is, second place is always good. Any podium finisher, top five, is going to net you a good amount of points, especially with the bonus points. A bit disappointing after practice and qualifying, but yeah, Cory had a good car at the end of the day. I think I just oversaved a little too much in that second half, and I overdrove it in the first half. And the best thing you can do is just look at it, learn from it, and move on when we go back to a mile and a half.
Yeah, and obviously, this race seemed to be kind of dominated by Cory Mott after he got the lead from you. Early on, did it seem like you definitely had the better car? It just maybe you pushed the tire a little bit too much there?
Yeah, honestly, I hadn't anticipated the track temps being so high. Most of the guys, including myself, actually blew a right front on like lap 40-something. And definitely the track temps for that. Definitely wasn't prepared at all. I know Cory's the king of saving tires, so no, he had it a little bit easier than the rest of us. But best thing to do is just learn from it. And, we got Las Vegas coming up. I think a few other mile and a half tracks.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask you about the end of that first run, actually, before you mentioned that. But did you kind of blow your tire first? Maybe it kind of seemed like you dropped from second to sixth pretty quickly compared to everyone else. So I was wondering if you blew your tire a little bit earlier than everyone else, or if it was just a little bit something else that kind of came into factor there.
Yeah, no, Trey, Ryan, a few other guys more towards the back, they blew theirs way early on. I think Cory's the only one who actually had it go all the way. Mine was kind of gone, I want to say not before most people, but definitely wasn't the last to go out, which is a problem with overdriving it.
Yeah, I got you. It was just definitely interesting to see you go from second to sixth in about 3 seconds on the
it was unfortunate. That hit to the wall after blowing the tire was lethal.
That's what happened. That's what I was trying to figure out what happened there. So you hit the wall.
It's pretty bad.
Gotcha. But yeah, obviously P2 is something to be looking forward to keep momentum going. We saw you win last time out at Mid-Ohio, and now a points lead of about 18 when it was about, I believe, 13 coming into tonight. So you gained about 5 points on second, who is Jim Mott. But the rest of the field kind of slacking behind now. Are you looking to try to run away from the rest of the field and try to lock this thing up early on?
Yeah, no, next track is Kern, another short track. Not decent at short tracks, but something that I need to work on definitely for the long run on those, because short tracks are really all about tire saving and really having those for the entire long run.
Yeah, and these cars obviously a little bit easier to control on the short tracks than the counterpart, the Gen 4s. That might play into a little bit of a factor next week, but short tracks are always a pretty big mess in the MCRL, so it's definitely going to be a very interesting race next week.
Yeah, just hopefully it's not a repeat of North Wilkesboro.
All right, but before I let you go, you got anyone else out there to thank before I let you go and you go celebrate this second place?
Oh yeah, the usual. Cory Mott, amazing host of the league, and all of the other series that he runs. All the guys for coming out tonight. And yeah, Cory again for a good car for a second place finish.
Well, there you go. Thomas Villano coming home second tonight. You go on and go celebrate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So that is Thomas Villano. Something got stuck in my throat there. There we go. We'll go ahead and talk to Cory Mott now. Our race winner tonight. Let's see what that number 73 team has got to say and what he's got on his mind after now 2 wins in a row, at least concurrent-wise, in the MCRL itself. So let's drag him in. Hey there, Cory Mott. It's the boy up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
All right. We talked to you a little bit earlier on at the midway point of this race when that competition caution came out, and just kind of ran away with the race there once you got past Taft, and it seemed like you were kind of playing with them there early on into that second stint. Is that what you were doing, or just saving tires?
No, I was just I had targets for the lap times that I wanted to run, and I just was kind of hitting my marks, and I guess it worked out. I guess my head calculations are right. I kind of took that first stint, saw what kind of lap times I was running at the beginning of it, and then kind of backed it down about 10th or 2, and then yeah, I was just running, to be honest. I just had my times in. I was just making sure I was right around those times, and it seemed to work out, I guess.
Yeah, and it definitely seemed like you had the dominant car the entire race. You seemed to keep your car kind of in that 34-second time, a lot longer than everyone else was able to. Unsure if that was kind of just the track temperature, and then the tires kind of giving out, or guys just pushing a little bit too much, and you were saving a little bit more. But it was definitely interesting to watch it all play out, and you kind of just run away from everyone else there. And
yeah,
take that victory.
it was in the brake pedal, honestly. It's very easy in that car and in the Gen 4 car, which this body style of car just comes naturally to me. I don't know why. But yeah, I don't think anybody was braking. I was braking the entire run from lap 1 to lap 50, every lap. And I talked to Jeremy. He said it was only braking for the last 15 laps. So I think that's what it was. I pumped the brake bias down to 65%, and I used it to set the car into every corner, minimized how much I was turning the steering wheel, and then just waiting late on the throttle, so I didn't slide the rears out. And I think that was the biggest difference.
And folks out there, that's what we call trail braking into the corner, and that's how you drive fast. But Cory Mott using the trail braking technique, taking them to a victory here in the Grand National Tour at Kansas. When we come here normally, in Cup cars or any other car that we come in, we obviously always see multi-groove racing here, and we saw that tonight as well. Did the bottom with the high track temps kind of see a little bit less usage for your car, or did you want to use the middle of the track or the high lane a little bit more there?
I was stuck to the bottom the whole race. It was the only way to save tire. If you were anywhere higher up on the track than the bottom lane, you were destroying your stuff, which is why everybody blew their tires in the first stage.
That's what I was thinking, because it definitely seemed that way. It seemed like you stuck to the bottom a lot more than everyone else. I definitely wanted to ask you about that, just because the temperature definitely was up there today. So that was a very interesting factor today's race with the
136
general
degrees.
tire compound.
It was it was really, really, what do you call it? It was really hot.
There you go.
That's the only way you can really explain it. It was toasty. And I mean, anytime, the mile and a halfs in general, anytime you're at a mile and a half, it's going to be usually on the bottom, all majority of the time, I would say.
And very slick as well.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, before I let you go and you go celebrate your second continuous win in the MCRL in general,
Three.
You got anyone? Or
Three
I
straight.
guess third. Yeah, I forgot about the Nextel as well. Or
Yeah.
the Nextel.
It's my week. I'm gonna write this. I'm gonna write this date down and remember for next season, middle of June. That's my time. If I'm ever feeling frustrated, because I was so close for the first however many weeks, 17, 18 weeks of the season. So to finally hit full stride is nice.
Well, there you go. We'll let you go ahead and go celebrate with the top tier boys and keep that team on the up. So congratulations on your win tonight.
Thank you very much.
So that is Cory Mott coming home with his third win, actually, in a row in the MCRL. I forgot about his Nextel Cup win as well. But his third continuous win here in the MCRL, and he's on a hot one right now. So look out for him, as tomorrow night I believe we'll have our last, or actually we won't have a truck race tomorrow night. We'll have a off week for trucks. We'll be back following week, and I actually will not be able to broadcast that one. So we'll see if anyone else will be able to be up in the booth for that one. I'll actually be in Cory's hometown not hometown, but home state of South Carolina. So we'll see if anyone else is able to broadcast that race. But that is the next time will be for trucks on Monday. Next week for ARCA, we'll be at Kern Raceway in California. That's Kevin Harvick's Kern Raceway to be exact. And that's going to be a fun one for sure. It's going to be a short track, 150 laps, 75 miles out there. And we'll be looking at possibly a Gordon Fraley run and possibly a Gordon Fraley win if he does decide to run out there next week. And make sure you guys tune in as well on Wednesday for Circuit Cup Series action. We'll be at New Hampshire. And then as well on Tuesday, we'll also have the Nextel Cup Series at Auto Club. So look out for all of these races coming up this week on the MCRL Racing Network. I'll be back in the booth on Tuesday. And for tonight, we'll be signing out. We'll see you guys on Tuesday for Nextel Cup Series at Auto Club.